Hi, everybody. How many of us in here are college students? All of us? Great. I would like to start by sharing a little story. The story is about Stanford student Chanel Miller. In an article by Varshini Srinthan, it is stated that Chanel Miller was sexually assaulted by Brock Turner, who is a student athlete at Stanford. During the trial, the judge concluded that a 14-year prison sentence for the first-time offender would have been too damaging to Turner's life, and he only served half of a 6-month prison sentence. The judicial system failed Chanel and gave a slap on the wrist to the man who shattered her world. Today, I want to talk about the problem of sexual assault on our campuses. This topic should matter to all of us because we are all college students, and this has been a serious issue that often gets swept under the rug or ignored entirely. I became interested in the topic when a friend of mine shared her story. It shook me to the core because it made me realize that this isn't a rare occurrence. Most of us in here know someone who has been a victim of sexual assault. Now today, I want to talk about the problems and damage that sexual assault on campus cause. I also want to talk about the Maryland Coalition Against Sexual Assault and the benefits that this coalition offer to the victims of sexual assault. Now, sexual assault is not a rare crime. Each of us probably know someone who's been sexually assaulted at one point in their life, like I said. In the statistics provided by RAINN, 13% of all students experience rape or sexual assault. And among undergraduate students, 26.4% of females and 6.8% of males experience rape or sexual assault. This 6 and 26% might not seem like a lot, but how many colleges are in America? How many colleges are in Maryland? How many students are there? 26%? That's a quarter of all undergraduate female students. And this topic does get swept under the rug because it's somewhat become the culture. In an interview by Nick Anderson for the Washington Post, he interviewed an anonymous female student about an experience she had. And the little quote that she took in there really hit me hard. In our day, it just becomes something you shut up about. You'll deal with. It happens. Victims feel as though it's not worth reporting because of how often they have been ignored or shamed. They carry the weight of what happened alone, which they shouldn't have to do. And there is an act to support these victims. It's called Title IX. In an article by Harvard, Title IX protects people from discrimination based on sex and education programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. However, Title IX has failed many victims. In a report by the Baltimore Sun, the University of Maryland's Title IX office received a record high number of reports, yet it opened a record low number of investigations. We've seen the numbers. They're too high. And the amount of women and men who have been let down by this system because the universities want to keep their image is astounding. We've seen the numbers and how often the system has failed and led men and women not to talk or report these incidents. All these numbers are from reported incidents. I'd be willing to say that that's a pretty small number of what actually happens. But there are people out there who care and wish to help the victims. The Maryland Coalition Against Sexual Assault are there for them. On the MCASA, is the abbreviation, website, they say the Maryland Network Against Rape was renamed the Maryland Coalition Against Sexual Assault Incorporated in 1982. The organization grew out of a widespread desire to better address the needs of women across the state. And since their foundation, they have done amazing work. Since 1993, they have provided testimony and other support in the passage of more than 95 significant pieces of legislation. By doing so, this promotes justice for the survivors and accountability for the offenders through legislative advocacy. The MCASA is a place full of people fighting so that Maryland will be a state of free of sexual violence. They're fighting to educate people on how to get help and talk about such an issue. Many of us in here don't like to talk about it because it makes us uncomfortable. But because it makes us uncomfortable, we have to face it. They are there to walk with you and help you recover. They will not turn their backs on the victims like so many other people have. With all the work that the MCASA is doing, there are immediate benefits to supporting them. There would be many benefits to helping those impacted by the issues surrounding sexual assault. Many times, even when reported, colleges sweep these cases under the rug to maintain their image. The MCASA is fighting to make sure that this never happens. They won't allow the victims to be victimized again. Through supporting the MCASA, they can pass more legislation to support the victims, and through education, they can teach the current and the future generations about sexual assault topics, about what consent is, how to notice things. Say if you're out at a party in college and you see a guy kind of pulling a woman along and she's clearly drunk, you can recognize that and you can step in and you can help. All the benefits that MCASA provide are astounding, but it doesn't take much help. If everyone comes together to offer some of their spare time or their voice, we can move mountains and bring about change. Now, in conclusion, there's a huge problem of sexual assault in our college campuses and lack of support for the victims. The MCASA is working to change that, and their work offers a better and safer future for our college students. I would like to call to action. It doesn't take money to help. We're all college students. We're all broke and can barely afford our McDonald's. MCASA holds many events that are free to go to and provide information on sexual assault topics. There are even volunteering opportunities to work with people who are motivated to bring about change. Everyone wants to make a change. And this is a great cause to give your time to. Just a little bit of your time, a little bit of effort, and we can change what is going on in our college campuses.